I switched the Kindle mode on my device to dark mode, and the text completely disappeared. Now, today we're going to talk about why you should format your book yourself. This is Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com, where self-publishing doesn't have to be so hard. So here's the thing. I was getting started with my very first book. I had just been so excited. I'd pounded out, was working 1,000 words a day to get the book done. I had taken it through the editing process 2 times. I hired 2 separate editors in order to get this process done to make sure that I did not make a mistake with regards to making sure the book was completely ready. At this point, I was completely ready to get the book formatted. That's the absolute next stop on the self-publishing journey that I was on at that time. The problem is that I couldn't do it because it was too difficult. I had heard earlier that if you're trying to self-publish and you're trying to format the book, you can go straight from your Word document and take it straight into Amazon's formatting, which will put it into an EPUB file on their site. The problem is, as one of my mentors previously in business coaches commented, if you go this route, there's a huge issue, which is regard to bullet points and other characters that Word adds to your document that you may not be aware of when you're doing this process. So you do not want to do this Word route. So I knew better than to give that a try. So what did I do instead? Well, the thing was, I realized I still have to move forward with the next step. I have to get it out, because what was at stake was that if I could go for this Word straight into Kindle format, but the problem is that then the book would not be formatted correctly. The other thing that would be at stake is if I don't move forward to the next step, I would simply not have a book on the market, which sort of defeats the whole point and wastes all of the time and money that I had used for editing and writing the book in the first place. I began to doubt whether or not I could actually even do this whole process myself. I felt like maybe the whole thing is just too confusing and it might even be worth giving up. And that internal self-doubt began to push me a little bit forward to saying, if I can't do it, then how can I do this? But then a thought hit me. I can hire somebody on Fiverr to go about doing this for me. I don't have to do it myself. And that was fantastic news, because I knew that by hiring somebody on Fiverr who had done this before, they wouldn't make the common mistakes and they would fix the formatting issues that I knew I was going to have if I attempted to go about it alone. So I hired a person, I looked them up on Fiverr based upon their reviews, and I sent them my manuscript, and then we began to pray that our formatting would be correct. Well, what happened was they sent it back to me and said, no problem. And in fact, it only took them a couple days. They sent back the formatted version for me, and at that point, I submitted it to Amazon, and then they rejected me, which is a bit of an obstacle for me, because how exactly am I supposed to get my book on there if they're rejecting my formatted ebook? And I thought, but this person on Fiverr said they knew how to do this thing, but they had made some mistakes. Fortunately, they handle revisions, so I was able to send it back to them and tell them, look, I need you to fix this. This isn't being accepted, and here are the reasons Amazon is rejecting me. Well, the person on Fiverr, they quickly were very positive about it. They fixed the book, fixed some of the issues that were in there, and they sent back the Mobi or EPUB file right on back to me. And I was like, whoa, that was pretty fast. I can't believe you were able to do this that quickly, but that was good. And hopefully, again, we submit and we hit pray. We start to pray again that this thing is going to work this time. And the thing is that when I sent it to them, Amazon accepted it. Fantastic. The goal has been achieved, everyone, except for one little problem. When I downloaded the Kindle file onto my Kindle device, I looked at it and I realized, wait a second here, the table of contents doesn't work. Well, at least they have a table of contents, but it should be so you can click on it and it takes you to the right page. But it simply wasn't doing what I needed it for it to do. So then my next thing is that I decided to test the book out additionally and see what other issues might be there. I put it into dark mode, where the screen goes black in the background and then the text should be white so that we can clearly read what exactly is going on with the book. And so I put it in that mode, and what happened was all of my text disappeared. So the text should have been white, but they had hard-coded the text. This was a huge problem because it meant that the quality of the book was going to be an issue for anyone who wanted to read it in nighttime or dark mode on their phones or Kindle devices. So what was I to do then? Well, I can tell you what it was. I was about to lose money with Fiverr because I went away from that. I realized that, no, I have to learn how to do this myself. At the same time, I was listening to an awful lot of podcasts, reading books, watching YouTube videos, and going through as much material as humanly possible to learn this self-publishing thing. And something became clear. A particular tool, which was Scrivener, that somebody had commented, this is the one you're going to want to try. This is the tool for authors that will handle all of your needs. So the thing is I was so excited. I even went out and I bought the full version of Scrivener without even testing it. Now, I can tell you later I regretted this. So I installed the thing on my system, and it was very easy to put in there, to get the table of contents showing up on the side, to get the organization of all of my chapters and the formatting, and even could export it to the Kindle format. But what did I discover was that it simply couldn't do the table of contents when I did the print version. And this was a deal breaker. So I wrote back to Scrivener and I said, look, it doesn't do the table of contents for my print version. And they said, why did you buy it without testing it? And I said, well, look, hey, I listened to so many people say it was wonderful for them that I thought I would give it a try. But after Googling it, I found out it doesn't have the out-of-the-box function at the time. Things can change. Maybe it's fixed it now, but that was an issue that I was personally struggling with. So I Googled and Googled and Googled alternatives to Scrivener and came up with an option which was Juto. It's a fantastic program that I use to format all of my 200 plus books since that point. But the fact is, I started working through Juto, and as I worked through it, I had some questions here and questions there, and I talked directly with the developer of the tool, and he informed me, you need to do this, you need to do that, which are the exact same tips that I give people today who are taking my course on formatting books. And as you go through the steps, they're able to use the template to skip a lot of the mistakes and errors that I made, so we don't have to talk with the developer in order to figure out to get the tool working properly. And the best part of it was that when I then put it into Kindle format, it worked perfectly the very first time. And when I took the tool and I put it into the paperback version, it then had the ability to put the chapters in the correct order exactly flawlessly, so that the paperback version had all of the elements that I wanted to have into it in place, perfect, ready to go the very first time. And that was one of the starting moments where I realized self-publishing can be easy. In fact, self-publishing is easy if it's done the right way. And that was just a very important thing that I had learned, was this formatting issue, which was that, yes, I can, in fact, format myself. But the thing is, there's so many things that self-publishers do to sabotage themselves. And if you want to learn more of the 3 ways self-publishers sabotage their success, just check up above me here. Thanks.